You might ask yourself, how can I trust the results in my report? Or, why should I pay attention to these results? These are legitimate questions. The feedback you received is from a multi-rater feedback assessment designed to help you develop the skills needed to be successful within your role. Feedback is received from all key stakeholders and not just your manager. It provides you with a well-rounded view of how others perceive your efforts. It's also conducted in a confidential setting so raters can provide accurate and honest feedback. If there are only a few rater assessments, the results are combined in order to obscure rater identity. The result of this process is a clear and accurate picture of your performance that could not be seen otherwise. Getting a clear picture of your performance will help you identify weaknesses that need to be improved, as well as strengths that you can leverage. Knowing the skills that need improvement is the first step towards creating a development plan for the short and long term. Your assessment is not just a collection of topics and questions. It has been carefully constructed around a valid theory that can reliably guide you toward a highly practical development plan. Over 40 years of research and experience have taught us which skills, based on organizational role, will give you the greatest leverage for improving your performance as an individual contributor, manager, or leader. This underlying theory, called the task cycle, implies that work is best viewed as a sequence of behaviors, each with a beginning and an end, and not as one continuous stream of effort. Each competency is important, but those at the beginning of the sequence have the greatest leverage and can be used to improve skill areas later in the cycle. This approach helps participants focus on competencies that have the most impact on their development. The task cycle summary is a high-level view of how you did overall on the task cycle phases. When looking at this chart, keep in mind that each phase is made up of several competencies. If one or two are very high or low, the average won't reveal why. Therefore, it is strongly encouraged that you review the competency and question scores in detail for a better analysis of how you did. Scores shown on this chart are averaged centiles separated out by rater groups. The score determines where the respective box is plotted. In this example, the average for peers in the third phase is a 51, and since 40 to 60 is the average range, the block for peers is plotted in the average column. Also, note the shading in the low and low average columns for the first two phases of the task cycle. If you have scores below average in the early part of the task cycle, you are missing out on the leverage that these skills provide. Plots by competency show your scores for each competency broken out by rater group. Competency plots are an excellent visual display of how you scored on the skills measured in the assessment. You can see here that each competency name is shown. The score for each skill is indicated directly below the name with a plot point for each rater group. A line connects each plot point for a given rater group, so it's easy to see the highs and lows of your scores for all competencies. This display makes it very easy to determine which skills are strengths or challenges, as well as differences and consistencies among rater groups. For example, here you see that all rater groups scored this skill relatively high. The agreement among all the rater groups would give you little doubt that this competency is an area of strength. Here you'll notice a large gap between these rater groups. You'd want to know why one rater group sees this skill so much more positively than others. Further investigation into the questions that make up the competency would be appropriate.